Hello, good morning everyone. Today we are going to study OS Unix Lab session 10. In the previous topic we have studied the concept various operators of Unix Linux. In today's topic we will study the concept positional parameters in a shell script. So these positional parameters are command line arguments which will be taken as an input in your shell scripting. So whatever you type on the terminals, so that will be taken as a command line argument in the shell scripting. So positional parameters in a shell script are nothing but the command line arguments passed to the shell script. The following are some of the parameters used. So this command line arguments is taken as an input in the shell script. That means the program which you write, there you can take it as an input. So first of all you need to type here the file name. Suppose our file name is shell script ss.sh. So this is your file name, shell script, where you have written your coding. Now you want to take the arguments which are passed on this terminal. Suppose if you type here arguments like 2, 4. Now whatever the values, numbers you type here, so these numbers will be taken as a argument, will be taken as a input in that shell script. Now we'll see the various positional parameters which can be used in the scripting and which will help to store those command line arguments. So first positional parameter is $0. So if you use this $0 in your shell scripting, it contains the name of the script that it is invoked. So it will fetches the name of the script. It will store the name of the script. Like suppose the name of the script is ss.s. So it will store that. $0 will store that script name. Next we have $1, $2 and so on. So this indicates the positions of the arguments, also called as positional parameters. Now suppose on the terminal you have written the file name ss.sh and the arguments which are passed is 2, 4 and 6. So the first argument will be stored in this $1 and second argument will be stored in that $2 and third argument will be stored in $3 and so on. So like this, how many arguments you pass, it will be stored in $4, $5 and so on. And later on you can use this in your shell scripting for calculation purpose and all. So these values will be calculated. Next positional parameter is $. It contains all the arguments regrouped as one argument, that is all the command line arguments starting from $1. So it will display all the arguments which you have passed and it will be regrouped as a single one argument. So it starts from $1. So we have passed here in this example 3 arguments we have passed. This is first argument, this is second argument and this is third argument. So in $, this all 3 arguments will be stored, 2, 4 and 6. So if you use $, it will display all these 3 arguments. $# contains all the arguments, one argument per parameters. Even this $# acts same like the $, but somewhat little bit changes there. While displaying the arguments on the screen, only there you can find out the difference between these two $* and $#. So both will do same work. Both will display all the arguments which you have passed on the screen, but while displaying, the formatting style can be different. $# contains the total number of arguments passed to the script. So total how many number of arguments we have passed, it will display the total. Now here we have passed 3 arguments. Total how many are there? 3 arguments. So it will display total 3 arguments are passed and that will be stored in this $#. Next we have dollar question mark contains the return code of the previous command. Return code of the previous command equal to 0 when the last command was executed successfully. So in dollar question mark, which was the previous command executed, that value it will store. So whatever we have typed on the terminal, and if it has executed, that command it will hold. We also have $. Okay, you can use this if you want the process ID, PID of shell scripting, shell executing the script. It will show the process ID of that shell executing the script. You can also use $! Contains the process ID of last background process. So which was the last process ID which was running background, that it will show, it will hold. Last one, $_. So last argument of an executed command. So even this will give last argument of an executed command. So see this example. So the first line of the shell scripting must begin with this. Then echo the script name $0. Now you use here $0. Whether you include this $0 in a double quote or even if you don't include. So whatever value it holds, it will display on the screen. So the value of the first argument to the script. So whatever is held in the first argument, that will be stored in this $1. It will display on the screen. So we have used here echo command. So whatever value is stored in that $0, $1 and $2, it will display on the screen. If you don't use the echo command, it will not display $1, $2 values on the screen. The value of the third argument to the script will be stored in $3. So the echo number of arguments passed to the script is total number of arguments will be stored in this. And next the value of all command line arguments, it will be stored in $*, similarly $#. Now suppose this value we have passed. Now when we run on the terminal, so positional parameter, this is our file name, positional parameter.sh, and 3 arguments we have passed here. This is argument 1, 2 and 3. So these are the 3 different car names we have passed. So in this program, the first output it is going to display is the script name, that will be stored in $0. Then the arguments which are passed $1, $2 and $3 will display. See, this is the output. The script name it is showing. It will display first the script name on the screen. Then it will display the first argument. Then it will, which is stored in $1. It will display second argument which is stored in $2. Third argument which is stored in $3. And this is stored in $0. Now the number of arguments passed to the script, this is stored in $#. Now the value of command line arguments, that is $* version. So as I told you, so whichever arguments you have passed, those all will be regrouped as one argument and it will display and it will store. So this will give by $*. Last one, the value of command line arguments. Okay, as I told you, both are same, but the way of displaying you can change. Okay, that you can do it using $@. Sorry. So sample arguments, it's not that you can pass any types of argument. This is first argument, second argument, third argument. You can also pass any letters, characters also you can pass. Okay, like hello, whatever you want to store, characters also you can pass, and so on. Now let us see the difference between this $@ and $*. So $@ if you use, it will be used like here. This is the command argument 1, 2 and 3. It will be like, it is used like a double quotes. It is included in a double quotes. So in the same format it will display on the screen if you use the echo command. And if you use $*, it will store the arguments like $1 y, $2 y, $3 y, and so on. So this y is nothing but the internal field separator. So this y is internal field separator. So instead of this y, you can use any characters. So $star is one of the long string, and $ifs act as an separator or token delimiters. So here instead of y, you can also use any types of operator. You can use comma operator, you can use any symbol here. So that is not possible with this $at, but this is possible with $star. See this example. So we use here separator, internal field separator, and in between now we are going to use here comma. So the arguments will be separated by comma here. On the screen you are displaying all pizza names. Okay, then you have displayed here $at. So whatever the arguments will be passed on the terminal, that will be stored in here $at. Okay, then displaying all pizza names using $star. Okay, once you are displayed with $at, and once you are displayed with $star. Okay. So this is the output, this is your file name, and this is the first argument, second command line argument, third command line argument, and fourth command line argument. So displaying all pizza menus using $at. So this is the first output. So it will display the output in this manner with $at, and it will display the output of $star in this manner. See, in between it will display comma operators. So using $star, you can use here in between any separators, any symbols you can use, which is not possible with $at. See another example. So with the echo command, we have used $1. So in $1, you are storing first argument. In $2, you are storing second argument. Now whatever is stored in $1 and whatever is stored in $2, that you are going to add, and you are going to store in add variable. Here also subtract, and you have to be stored in sub variable. Similarly, subtraction and addition. Now that will be displayed on the screen with the echo command. So first it will display addition. Front of that, whatever is stored in $add, it will display. Then #n we have used. In the next below line, it will display subtraction. Front of that, whatever is stored in $sub, it will display. Similarly, multiplication and division. So our output is like, so now suppose this is your file name arithmetic.sh. These are the two arguments which are passed. This is the first argument and this is the second argument. And first argument will be stored in $1, second argument 10 will be stored in $2. Then calculation will be done, and that will be displayed on the screen. That will be stored in this. Calculation will be stored in this addition, subtraction, multiplication and division, and those values we are displaying on the screen there. So 12 plus 10, it is 22. Similarly, subtraction, multiplication and division. So this is how the positional parameters are used in shell scripting, and it is very important because most of the time if you want the arguments from the command line, positional parameters are used. Thank you.